Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. So today I am going to explain the movie Goodfellas. The movie Goodfellas is based on the book Wiseguy by Nicholas Pileggi. This movie is based on the story of gangster Henry Hill. In starting, we will get to see a young boy named Henry Hill who lives in Italian American neighborhood. From childhood, he dreams of becoming gangster. He gets impressed with gangster Paulie Cesario who runs taxi stand in front of Henry Hill's house. Paulie Cesario controls police worker union in neighborhood. Even Henry Hill also starts to do small works for Cesario's gang and he also starts to earn well. As he starts to work for Cesario's gang, he stops going to school. After some days, Henry Hill's father gets complaint letter from the school about Henry missing the classes. Henry's father gets angry and attacks Henry. Henry goes to gang members and tells that due to his father and complaint letter from the school, he won't be able to work for the gang. Gang members finds the solution for this problem by taking postman into their custody and tells him not to give any letters to Henry's home. After this, there was no problem for Henry and then he starts to earn well for Cesario's gang. Slowly, Henry gets into the inner circles of the gang and he meets Irish-Italian mobster Jimmy Conway. Jimmy's main work was truck hijacking. He used to loot the trucks which is used to carry cigarettes and alcohol. One day, Jimmy asks help of Henry to sell the looted cigarettes and Henry does the job with ease. Jimmy meets Tommy to Henry. Then Tommy and Henry starts to work together. One day, while selling the looted cigarettes, Henry gets caught by the police and Tommy informs the gang members that Henry got arrested. By hearing this, Jimmy hires a lawyer and gets Henry out of the jail. When Henry gets out of the jail, he meets Jimmy and Jimmy was very happy because Henry never took gang members' name in front of the police, so Jimmy was very happy. As the time passes, Henry and Tommy are all grown-ups now. During childhood, they used to loot trucks, but now they have started to loot the cargoes in the airport. As the time goes on, friendship between Henry, Tommy, and Jimmy becomes stronger. In 1970, Henry Hill meets Jimmy's girl, Karen. Then soon love blossoms between them. Karen comes to know that Henry is a gangster, but looking into his power, money, even after disapproval from her parents, she gets married to Henry. As the time goes on, every member in the gang starts to earn well. Henry also purchases a nightclub, and one day Billy Bats enters into his nightclub. Billy Bats was also a affiliated member of Gambino crime family. Billy Bats starts to pass comments on Tommy. By hearing this, Tommy gets frustrated and attacks Billy Bats. Then all three of them murders Billy Bats. Then they dig the graveyard and dump his body. One day, Paulie asks Henry about Billy Bats. Henry lies about Billy Bats and tells Paulie that Billy got drunk and went to home from their nightclub. After 6 months, Henry tells Jimmy that they have to shift the Billy Bats body because construction is going on where first they have dismantled the body. Then they shift the body of Billy Bats. Then Paulie sends Jimmy and Henry to Florida to collect money from Gambler. Gambler refuses to give money to Jimmy and Henry. Then they threatens him and brutally attacks him. Then Gambler pays off the money. After 2 days, Jimmy and Henry gets arrested because the man's sister works in FBI who they have attacked 2 days back. And then court gives the order of 10 years of imprisonment as Henry is in jail and there is no income for him. So he starts to smuggle drugs in the jail and his wife Karen becomes his drug peddler. After 4 years, due to good behavior, Henry gets parole. When he gets into home, he didn't had money and work. So he starts drug business and once again earns lot of money. Paulie wants Henry not to do this drug business, but Henry never cared and continued to do the business. By seeing the wealth generated from drug business, Tommy and Jimmy joins hands with Henry. One day, Henry gets to know about the Lufthansa vault in JF Airport, where crores of unmarked notes is going to arrive there. Henry shares this news with Jimmy, and Jimmy involves some gang members and makes the plan, and they successfully rob the Lufthansa vault. Gang members unwantedly starts to waste the money by buying cars and fur coat. Jimmy gets angry by his gang members' act. Then he and Tommy starts to finish the gang members who are involved in the heist. Then mob bosses, in the name of ceremony, takes Tommy and shoots him. This was personal revenge from mob bosses because they got to know that Tommy himself killed Billy Bats. Jimmy and Henry gets upset with Tommy's death, but they couldn't do anything as Tommy had broken the rules of the mafia. Then Henry becomes addicted to drugs and starts to behave like a paranoid. One day he gets arrested from Narcotics Bureau. Then Karen gets him out through bail. Now they don't have money and he asks help from Polly, while Polly gives him some money and tells Henry not to meet him once again. At the end of Goodfellas, Henry Hill has turned into an FBI informant. This decision is driven by his need to survive after being cut off from the mob and facing threats from his former associates. His testimony leads to the arrest and conviction of his former associates, including Jimmy Conway and Paulie Cicero. In the end, we would get to see Henry, who is living the life of above middle class. He doesn't seem to be happy, but he is alive. That's what matters the most. So for me, Goodfellas stands better than Godfather in many aspects. So that's it, guys. Thank you.